Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the United Star and the UEFA Europa League. Yes, the UEFA Europa League for us is starting again, and we're taking on Real Sociedad, which our managers come out and said is like a Champions League fixture, which is in fact true because Sociedad have been doing quite well recently in sort of the La Liga, and they have some good players. We've got Prashant Nair here from MUFC India to preview the game with us. Prashant, what do you make of this fixture, and also what do you make of the competition in the as a whole? Do you think we should pursue it?
If I had the option, I would never pursue this because I'm not a huge fan of Europa League playing on a Thursday night and then playing Premier League again on a Sunday night. I have had that sleepless nights and then watch the team tired on a Sunday. Personally, I wouldn't have pursued it, but right now we don't have an option, right? We bottled the easiest chance we had back then. We needed 2 points from 3 games and we didn't get it. So this is a punishment which I think which United are facing, and for that I think now everyone is under pressure, including Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and this team because they need a trophy. We had one in EFL Club, but we didn't do anything. Now there are two trophies which are left, which is FA Cup and the Europa League. Right now, I'm not considering the Premier League because I don't think it is going to slip from City's hand. So I'm being pessimistic there. So out of two, United do need one trophy, and realistically, I think Europa League is something which I think United can manage. FA Cup, I still have my doubts. So I think United will pursue this competition. And
Okay.
overall, about the competition, I mean, the format is a bit weird this time. Obviously, we're not going to play at Spain, and hence we're playing at Turin. So the ground has got very special memories for us, right? It was Roy Keane's header, then Juan Mata free kick, so on and so forth. So we've always had great memories from that ground. So I really hope that United step up.
Mm-hmm. I think you raised a very valid point there that this competition has become a necessity more than an option whether what we want to do with it. But to be very honest, Prashant, could we be facing a first round exit in the knockout stages? Because Real Sociedad started the season flying in the La Liga. They are also right now in that fourth or fifth spot. And they have looked a good team. They've got Orzibal who scored 10 goals. They've got Isaac who scored 9 goals. They have Adnan Januzaj who is, of course, we know that he's got some obvious talent and he can turn on a game like this. And apparently he's come out and said a lot of things about United. Seems like he has a score to settle. And David Silva
Hmm.
was out for a long time with an injury, but I don't think we need to say much about David Silva anyway. So what do you expect? Is this team got too much quality almost for us to handle?
I wouldn't say it's got too much quality, but I think they would have more desire than us right now, in the sense that they would want to get a point across. Right from the names you mentioned, from David Silva to Adnan Januzaj, all of them have got a point to prove to Manchester United. That's primary. That's my worry actually. Having said that, I still don't think that it'll be too much for United to take. I think United are the better team on paper at least. And for us, right, Prasham, it is not about the quality of the team. What we all fear is the same: which United turns up. Is it the United who turned up against Chelsea at the FA Cup semi-finals last year, or is it the United who played against City this year, where we came out flying? Obviously, it was a nil-nil game, but we had City on the back foot right from the word go. So I don't know which United is going to turn up, and that's why my fear. There's nothing else apart from that which is bothering me about Real Sociedad as of now.
Hmm. So the last year when we played the Europa League, it was a single leg knockout.
Yeah.
This year when we play the Europa League, it's a double leg knockout.
Hmm.
So how would you approach this game, especially given the fact that the home advantage for Sociedad is basically gone? It's
Yeah.
essentially advantage. I look at it as advantage to United now totally because
Hmm.
first of all we play a neutral game and then of course Old Trafford is an advantage for us. So how
Yeah.
would you think you would approach this game if you were Oli? Would you go all out and put them under even more pressure?
Yes, of course. I would definitely go all out at Turin because a couple of reasons. One reason, the pitch at Turin, right? It's a pretty wide pitch. It's not a narrow pitch how most of the Spanish venues have. It's a wide pitch. So for us, we have the strength of wingers. Of course, they're not firing all cylinders, but I would definitely expand the pitch in that game. Try and get maximum advantage in the tie against Sociedad in the first leg itself because we've got some difficult Premier League fixtures coming up slowly and steadily. So I don't want to stress the squad as well. I'll be more than happy if we knock like 2-3 goals and then just they score one or whatever and then come back. And at Old Trafford, I'll still put out my strong team because I don't want a scenario like the PSG or the Leipzig game all over again. I would rather have this home advantage kept at later stage, but go and win the game at neutral venue very quickly.
Mm-hmm. So Prashant, keeping that in mind
Hmm.
and keeping the fact that we have obviously crucial Premier League games, and while you talk about first place, I'm even considering whether second might become too far of a reality for Manchester United. So how would you sort of approach this game in terms of the starting 11? So what would your predicted lineups be there?
So I think United would start with Dean Henderson. He's definitely in for a game right now because we've already kept him waiting for quite some time. So it'll be Dean Henderson. My left back would be Alex Telles. Maguire will definitely start. I mean, there is no chance Maguire is getting benched or getting arrested. If Eric Bailly is fit, I'll start Eric Bailly. I'll give Lindelof a time off now because there was a moment in the West Brom game where I thought he's not right in the zone. And when Lindelof is not in the zone, the defense looks a bit shaky. So I'd give Lindelof a game off. So I'll start Eric Bailly. On the right back, obviously, there is only one right back in this club. So Aaron Wan-Bissaka has to play. Then in the midfield, I'll probably go with Nemanja Matic to start. McTominay, because I don't think Fred will play this game, so he'll be rested. Then up front, and Bruno Fernandes, of course, because there's no chance Bruno is getting rested. So that'll be 4-3. And the front three would be Greenwood. Greenwood as a number 9 if possible, but I'm sure he's not going to play number 9. So most probably he'll be on the right wing, Martial, Rashford. Edinson Cavani gets a little bit of rest.
Interesting, interesting. Do you think that is there any chance that Oli might actually revert to a diamond in midfield with Van der Beek playing there and then play Greenwood and Rashford or Martial, one of them up front?
I don't think Van de Beek will be playing regularly now because whenever he's given a chance, he's blown it away, and that's probably because of lack of continuous match rhythm, etc., etc. And for him to suddenly start Van de Beek in such a game, I think it's too much of from us to ask as well because this game is pretty important, right? So I wouldn't want to go for a diamond. I would rather go for a 4-3-3 because that's what our biggest strength is. If we don't have Cavani starting, if obviously if we have Cavani, it's always going to be 4-2-3-1. But I would rather go for a 4-3-3, expand the the length of the pitch, try and deliver crosses because Mason Greenwood needs half a chance to score. Obviously, Mason Greenwood is not in his peak form, but even the game against West Brom, he got half a chance and he hit, and Johnston saved some brilliant saves against Greenwood. And he's coming back to his form. So if possible, if you play Mason Greenwood as a number 9, Rashford on the right wing, Martial on the left wing, Greenwood up top, that'll be interesting for me to see. If not, then I think we're going with the same 4-3-3 which played last year.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that makes sense. We've already highlighted some of the threats from the Sociedad point of view. But now let's take a step back and look at this game from sort of a two-leg perspective. So you've already said go out in the first leg, win this game, because after the second leg we play Chelsea as well. So it's a lot of fixture packing. But realistically, what kind of a game are you expecting? Because as much as we'd want to go out, Spanish sides tend to be quite pragmatic when it comes to the Champions League or the Europa League. In their own league, it's all smash bang, it doesn't matter. But when it comes to these competitions, they tend to be more pragmatic. The other thing is that they haven't had as many back-to-back games as we've had. So how do you see this first leg realistically playing out?
I think it's going to be a very cagey game. It's not going to be an open kind of an atmosphere where you just get the ball. You know how we played against Liverpool or City. The game was open and both teams were playing open football, but then suddenly the game went to a cagey phase, right? But here I think the game would start at a cagey phase where both teams will try and keep the ball. It's like typical Champions League night for the first 20-25 minutes where the team will want to see more of the ball, try and see how other players are reacting to it. So obviously United's approach is going to be that because I don't think we're going to start, right from the word go out all out and attack. Now, of course, no, that's not going to happen. We will start slow. Our entire strength is based on counter-attacking systems, right? We can't straight away build and then hit. We always rely on counter-attack. I would be more than happy if United keep the ball a lot because Sociedad are not going to let go of the ball. Because if you look at the midfield, right, there is David Silva, there is Ilara Mendy, there is Adnan Januzaj. These players are great when they start dribbling at you. And I don't want to face David Silva all over again. I have faced him enough for 10 years now. That David Silva Aguero combination just annoys me to the core. And we all know that you give David Silva some time on the ball, he make things happen. So I don't want to see him that. Apart from that, right, one major worry for me with United this season has been our set pieces. We concede so many in set pieces. And also, we don't score from set pieces. When I say we don't score, obviously the Maguire goal still stands out in front, in our head. The attempt also stands out. But I would want United to actually be a little bit more physical in this game. You know, be like the men rather than the boys. You know, I don't want Sociedad to be shown a lot of respect. I want United to play a bit rough. Just tell them that they are the team to beat. You know, if you start game with that attitude itself, some teams can go a foot back and then think, okay, they are not just going to be counter-attack. They will push me over the line. So I would want United to start that kind of a game, but it's all hope, right? I mean, I don't know which United is going to turn up that day.
Yeah, Prashant, I think personally it's going to be a very cagey game, and I think, I mean, we've been building up Kevin De Bruyne versus Bruno Fernandes here. I think this is David Silva versus Bruno Fernandes, and I mean the frustration and the in your voice was apparent when you said David Silva. I think people don't realize how good of a player he can yet prove to be, because he doesn't need
Hmm.
to run. It takes just 1 millisecond for him to pick a pass, and the
I'll
game
just
could
give
be
you a
opened up.
simple example, Prasham. What I remember of David Silva in the, I think 11, 12 or 12, 13 derby, I don't remember which one, not exact the year. There was a moment where David Silva was packed by 3 United players. I think it was Van Hal, or not Van Hal. No, I'm sure it was not Van Hal. David Silva was packed by 3 United players. He had the ball, right? So obviously it was expected that he would pass. All David Silva did was just flick it behind. The fullback ran and crossed Aguero goal. And I was like, you don't do that. You know, you're already man marked by 2, 3 people, and then you just flick the ball. Out of nowhere, they created a goal. Another goal which stands out is where, you know, David Silva came inside, slotted, waited for the defender to tackle on him, and he just passed because he took a man on him, because obviously he fell down. Not a foul because the defender hit the ball, but it was just a feeble touch. The ball fell to Aguero's leg, and we all know Aguero loves us. So he just scored, and I was like, my goodness, till when is he going to play? Of course, he's had a very tough time in his career as well as his personal life. His kid was battling a lot of diseases. He had a kind of a swan song year at City last year, but I really hope he flops against us one more time, because he hardly flops. But I really hope he's got a very bad game against us, and kind of possibly hoping that even Adnan Januzaj flops. But obviously, as a football enthusiast, I don't want to see that way. But it's my team, and what matters more to me is that United qualify.
Absolutely. So, Prashant, I think we've covered as much as we could about Sociedad. I mean, as with whatever knowledge you and me have, I don't think there's more to be. We can talk about anything more with any sort of authority on the subject. So, let's get into two predictions I want from you. I know. So, this is not the end of the tie, so you can predict the game. So,
Yeah.
the second leg is yet left. So, what is going to happen in this game?
I think it'll be a 2-1 victory for United. I'm sure we're going to concede. I don't have that much confidence in this defense as of now, in spite of the great performances we've had, because we've all the games we've won is we have either outscored people, or we have hit them on counters or whatever. But the defense is still yet to establish themselves majorly. But one player who I really, really hope has got a great game is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because he's going to be against two wingers who are not going to show any mercy to him. Someone like an Adnan Januzaj will definitely drift and shift wings, right? And we all know that Adnan Januzaj has got great control over the ball. Of course, his career hasn't hit what was supposed to be hit, from the Stadium of Light to Dortmund loan, failing Dortmund loan, now establishing himself at Sociedad. I really hope Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Alex Telles, both of them are right. Like, they definitely put in a 10 on 10 performance, because if you miss both of them, right? Like, if you miss Sociedad, Januzaj, David Silva, then we are in for a long night. I really hope United step up this time.
Mm-hmm. I think I personally did not think Adnan Januzaj was all that much was made out of him. I always thought he
Mm-hmm.
held on for the ball too long, and at the top level, you always get caught out when you hold on for the ball for too long, unless you
But
have the
Prasham,
ability.
having said that, right? Having said that, it also depends. If you're able to hold on ball so long, either you have a great pass
Yeah, so I was
or
just
you
going to
have a
say,
great vision.
unless you have the ability of an Eden Hazard or a Jack Grealish or Lionel Messi, you can't
or
hold on
or
for the
a
ball.
Kevin De Bruyne, or a
Or a De
Kevin De Bruyne.
Bruyne,
Even
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Basically,
If you
that
hold
class
the
of
ball that time,
players.
yeah, exactly. And of course, I mean, I was 20, 19, 20 when Adnan Januzaj kind of broke into the scene, and I was like, this kid is good. He typically defied what Premier League wingers are, which is to run, cross the ball, drop, all those sort of things, and that goal at Sunderland. I mean, I'll never forget. But sadly, career didn't rise, so nothing much to speak about him that way.
Yeah. So, Prashant, you've given us sort of Aaron Wan-Bissaka as your player to watch out for. 2-1, you've given us a prediction as well for once. So let's see, guys, what happens. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe to our channel. We will be doing the review of the game. We'll be doing a lot more previews. If you're new here, do subscribe and like the video. We'll see you all soon. Thanks, Prashant, for coming along, and let's hope we win.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching our video. If you do like it, please click on the thumbs up and please subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell icon to get daily notifications from the United Star. Follow us on Instagram at the.UnitedStar and we will see you soon.